800,000 years ago. The Galactic Council chamber on the ring world of Ether Prime was filled with the hushed glow of 1,000 alien species. At the center stood the human delegation, barely 2 centuries into the stars, brash, loud, and unapologetically alive. The charge was simple: humanity had violated the Prime Edict. We had uplifted 3 pre-space flight civilizations without Council approval. We had shared fusion technology with a species still burning coal. We had taught orbital mechanics to Bronze Age avian poets on the moon of Kethra 4, simply because they asked. The Council called it reckless contamination. We called it kindness. The vote was unanimous. Humanity was expelled. Our embassy worlds were seized. Our ships were escorted to the edge of Council space under threat of annihilation. The final decree rang out in 100 translated tongues. Henceforth, the species known as Homo sapiens is forbidden from all Council territories, trade routes, and diplomatic channels. Let the void be their teacher. Our last frigate crossed the border beacon. Captain Alina Moreau broadcast a single message on open channels: "We'll manage. See you around." Then the beacon went dark, and 800 millennia of silence began. While the Council flourished, new species joined. Wars were prevented. Technology plateaued into elegant perfection. Humanity was forgotten. Our name became a cautionary footnote in ethics textbooks: the Terran folly. But we were not idle. Cut off from the galaxy's gentle stagnation, we were forced to run. Fusion led to antimatter. Antimatter led to zero-point taps. Wormhole math that the Council deemed theoretically destabilizing became our daily commuter lanes. When our sun began to swell, we didn't evacuate Earth, we rebuilt it, wrapped it in a Dyson shell, and kept going. We met no friends because the Council had warned everyone away. So we became our own friends. Colonies became cluster nations. Cluster nations became stellar polities. Polities became the Terran Concord, civilization that spanned 1/3 of the galaxy's unexplored far arm. We fought wars, terrible ones, against ourselves, against rogue A's, against physics itself. Each time we survived, we grew kinder in victory and wiser in defeat. The recklessness the Council feared never vanished, but it was tempered by something they had never taught us: accountability, earned through consequence. We remembered the Council. Every child learned the story of the expulsion. And quietly, across centuries, a question formed in 1 billion human hearts. What became of the ones who sent us away? Turning the Council year 800,000 post-expulsion. A routine survey probe on the galactic rim detected an anomaly, a perfect sphere of altered space-time, 10 light-years across. Moving at 1/3 light speed toward Council core worlds, the sphere unfolded. From it emerged a single vessel the size of a moon. Black. Featureless, except for a white emblem on its prow. A blue circle pierced by an Aretha, ancient Terran symbol for Earth. It broadcast on every frequency, in every language the Council had ever used, and in hundreds more they had never heard. This is the Concord ship Remembrance. We seek parley with the Galactic Council. We come in peace. We will not ask permission to approach. We will arrive at Ether Prime in 40 standard days. Prepare your chamber. Panic rippled through the Council. Fleets were mobilized. Ancient defense grids powered up. Emergency sessions stretched for weeks. Then, the second message arrived: Dado only. In perfect old High Zorathian, the Council's ceremonial tongue: "Relax. If we meant you harm, you would already know." Remembrance parked in high orbit above Ether Prime without firing a shot or being fired upon. A single shuttle descended. The Council chamber, built a dozen times since humanity's departure, was packed again. Every seat filled. Every hologram active. The doors opened. 3 humans walked in. They wore simple black uniforms without rank or ornament. The leader, Admiral Jaya Chen, was perhaps 60 Terran years old, gray at the temples, eyes bright with amusement. She carried no weapons, only a small wooden box. She stopped at the speaker's circle and waited for silence. Then she spoke, voice calm, amplified just enough for the back rows. Greetings from the species you expelled 800,000 years ago. We accept your apology in advance. Laughter rippled through the human delegation behind her. The council delegates did not laugh. Admiral Chen placed the wooden box on the central podium and opened it. Inside lay a data crystal the size of a finger. This contains the complete historical record of the three species you accused us of contaminating. The Kethrins reached the stars 4,000 years after we left them. The Vora Collective achieved faster than light travel on their own. The Lycian League is currently the third largest economy in our half of the galaxy. All three sent representatives today. They wait outside. She paused. You feared we would ruin them. Instead, we merely hurried them along. And when we were gone, they did the rest themselves. As it turns out, curiosity is contagious, but it is not fatal. A Zorathian elder rose, tentacles trembling. You trespass on sacred ground. You were banished forever. Chen smiled gently. Forever is a long time. Even for you. She gestured. In the chamber's hollow walls lit up with images. Human cities wrapped around stars. Gardens on neutron star crusts. Children playing in zero-gravity orchards light years long. Libraries that held more knowledge than the entire council archives. Art that made the delegates weep without knowing why. We did not come to conquer, Chen said. We came to trade, to share. To remind you what wonder feels like when it is not scheduled and approved in committee. The silence that followed was centuries deep. Debate raged for months. Some species demanded immediate war. Others begged for alliance. Most simply stared at what humanity had become and felt. For the first time in recorded history, small dot in private sessions. The oldest delegates confessed what no public record would ever hold. They had been wrong. Not about the prime edictate's purpose remained sound, but about humanity. They had mistaken kindness for chaos, courage for arrogance. They had exiled the one species willing to take risks on behalf of strangers, and in doing so, they had exiled themselves from progress. The Council's golden age had been comfortable. Yes, safe, predictable, but it had also been still. Humanity had moved, one by one. Delegations approached the human outpost ship that now orbited Ether Prime. They asked questions. They asked for help. They asked quietly for forgiveness. Admiral Chen gave the same answer each time. We hold no grudge. The void taught us patience. But memory is long, and trust must be earned anew. Let us begin as equals, not as penitent and pardoned. A year later, the Galactic Council voted by the narrowest margin in its history to revoke the expulsion, decree retroactively, and invite the Terran Concord as full members. The ceremony was simple. No parades. No speeches longer than a minute. Admiral Chenao, Ambassador Chenna stood once more in the speaker's circle. She placed a new object on the podium, a seedling from old Earth, grown in Martian soil. Carried across half the galaxy, she planted it in a small bowl of Ether Prime soil. This tree will outlive every one of us, she said. May it remind you that growth requires both light and darkness. You gave us the darkness. We brought the light back to share. As the chamber lights dimmed in respect, a young Kethrin delegate, wings shimmering with bioluminescence, leaned toward an elder Zorothian and whispered, They came back better than we ever were. The elder's tentacles stilled. Yes, he answered. Voice thick with the closest thing his species had to tears. And we are the poorer for having waited so long to see it. Outside the great viewport, the stars burned as they always had. But for the first time in 800,000 years, the galaxy felt young again. The end.